Tomorrow is the day that Apex Legends Mobile shuts down forever. May 1st was the date announced by Respawn and EA that the game would be officially sunsetting, the servers would be shutting down, the game would be ceasing to exist, you can't install it, you can't update it, all of your purchases gone poof, just like that. And when this information first came out around 3 months ago, I originally thought, hey, that's it, packing up shop, no more Apex Mobile videos until the game shuts down, but I could not have been more wrong. It feels like there's been more news and information these last few months when the game has been in this weird shutdown phase than in this 9 months the game was actually operational. But for the last time, or hopefully the last time, we have some news regarding Apex Mobile, and more particularly Apex Mobile 2.0. Now, Apex Mobile, I would argue, has had one of the weirdest story arcs ever of a mobile game. It went from being this really niche and sort of hidden beta game that was out for almost 2 years before going into their global launch. It had this really dedicated, really hardcore fan base of players and creators who would stand by the game and would play it to the end of the world, which then led up to the soft launch of the game where we got to see some true potential in it. Creators were hopping on, pro players were starting to get grinding, or at least the very beginning of the competitive scene was starting to brew, and really you could get a sense that something special was about to happen. You could feel something, that something was going on. Apex Mobile was gonna be something, and when the game finally globally launched, it was. For the first month, the game was it. You had pretty much every mobile FPS, every mobile shooter, creator, player, pro player switching to the game for those first few weeks. Now, we all know how the game ended up turning out. Those first few weeks, even though they were bug filled and they weren't too optimized, they were fun. They were fantastic because we weren't playing against bots. We were playing against some of the sweatiest, most competitive games that I have ever experienced in my life as a mobile content creator. And then the bots came in, and then the bugs happened, and the rest is history. And that led us to the 9-month point in the game where Respawn and EA once again announced the game was sunsetting. Everyone knows that this is going on, and everyone knows that tomorrow is the last day for you to play the game. If you're watching this after May 1st, sorry to break the news to you, but your account is gone, your skins are gone, the game is gone, you can't play the game. But a few weeks ago, I made a video talking about Apex Mobile 2.0 because in all of this madness and all this confusion, EA is a very interesting company. They are a public company. They're a publicly traded company, which means that they have to explain to shareholders why they did certain things. And in one of these meetings, Apex Mobile was brought up, and the CEO mentioned that they were thinking about bringing back Apex Mobile in the future as a reimagined version of itself. Basically, an Apex Mobile 2.0 might be coming in the future if they wanted to, reimagine it and integrate it into their PC and console version of the game, and that got people excited. That got people still interested in the game, thinking, hey, Apex Mobile 1.0 was a flop, but Apex Mobile 2.0 might save the day. But what if I told you an Apex Mobile 2.0 already exists? Yes, that's right. There is already a version of Apex Mobile that is being worked on, that is being developed, but there are some serious twists and catches to how this game works, how it's going to function, and some big drama that has already happened around this game. Now, as you guys know, Lightspeed Studios, or basically Tencent, as you guys know, Tencent owns Lightspeed Studios. Lightspeed Studios, they worked with Respawn. Respawn, they own Apex Legends. Lightspeed Studios, they make mobile games. They came together as a mobile games team, and they developed Apex Legends Mobile. Now, when the shutdown happened, I believe in the FAQ, there was mention somewhere that the Respawn and the developers, they just didn't see eye to eye, or things didn't work out between the two, which was kind of a weird thing to say. It was a weird excuse, but I kind of see why. It's all starting to make sense now, and that's because the developers of the new Apex Mobile 2.0 is Lightspeed Studios. It's the company who already has developed the game. They are redeveloping it, recreating it, but here's the biggest but, for a Chinese audience. Now, if you guys don't know, the Chinese mobile gaming audience is huge. It is gigantic. I mean, I think there's like 1.4 billion people that live in China, and a lot of these gamers actually prefer to play on mobile. That's where a lot of the Southeast Asian and the Asian mobile community presence comes from. It's from China, who I believe are like industry leaders in the space. And so the Chinese mobile game industry is huge, but it's really closed doors. It's a very closed ecosystem, meaning if you don't live inside China, you basically can't play Chinese games. You can watch them on YouTube if you can get footage of them, but you can't play them, you can't access them, you can't really download them, and you can't connect to the servers. It is an incredibly closed ecosystem, and so that doesn't really bode well for Apex Mobile 2.0. Now, the reason that we know Apex Mobile 2.0 is already being developed is because we have proof. We have proof out there. There have been leaked screenshots, leaked videos, and leaked information from the studio about how this game is being redeveloped. Now, I would love to show you guys some of these bits and pieces of information to give you some context of what I'm talking about, but I can't. If you guys know Apex Mobile creators, you've probably heard of the YouTuber, watched the YouTuber IMO when Apex Mobile was a thing, and he actually made a video talking about what I'm talking about today, Apex Mobile 2.0, but he received a copyright strike from the developers of Apex Mobile 2.0, which is not good. As a YouTuber, a copyright strike is literally the one single worst thing that can happen to a YouTuber because it puts like red flags in our account, and it's just not good. So he got a copyright strike talking about Apex Mobile 2.0, and that's not even all. If you guys know the leaker bot, I have quoted him multiple times over the course of the Apex Mobile game for leaks that he provided to the community. He also tweeted things out about the game, about Apex Mobile 2.0, and they went and copyright striked his tweets. Now listen, I'm not saying that copyright striking and making them take down their stuff was bad by any means, but it is pretty interesting. Leaks nowadays are super common. Valorant Mobile, the only reason we know Valorant Mobile is actually going to be a game is because there have been leaks out there for the last year, just straight raw gameplay of Valorant Mobile, and technically at any point Riot can come along and copyright strike this gameplay, take it down forever, and that's not good news either. So games companies, they have the ability to take down pre-release or leaked footage if it's not meant to be out there for the public, but what they've basically taken down is just reskins of Apex Mobile. What currently exists out there and is floating out there on the internet in regard to Apex Mobile 2.0 right now is the fact that Lightspeed Studios basically took Apex Mobile. They just copied the game. It's a copycat, it's a clone of Apex Mobile, but since they don't own Respawn's rights, they don't own the name to the game, they don't own the characters, they don't own the, the core weapon skins and things like that. They're basically taking all of the mechanics from the game that probably they developed, the code that they developed, and they're just putting it into their Apex Mobile 2.0. Now, I don't even know the name of the game. And so because of all this happening, some wild theories have been thrown out there of basically Lightspeed Studios may or may not have been using Apex Mobile as just like a testing ground. Like they had this game, Apex Mobile, they were testing it on a global audience. Hey, it didn't work here. Cool. We learned what not to do. We're going to move it over here to China and we're going to publish it and we're just going to let people run crazy with it. And they're probably going to make a lot of money off it. So Apex Mobile has continued to be one of the most, arguably the most confusing launch, death, and then relaunch sort of a video game I've ever seen, maybe ever, not even on the mobile platform, just ever. Obviously the Fortnite mobile saga is its own thing, but that is kind of for a more heroic reason for fighting Apple and fighting the big monopolistic tech companies. This was just a game developer studio made a game. It didn't work in one region, so they're just repackaging, redesigning the game that people spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on. The game is being shut down and they're just moving it to China, where all the people who played the original game won't have access to it, because once again, it is super hard to get your hands on any sort of Chinese game or game server, because once again, it's just super protective, super restrictive. And so this situation is just fascinating. I would love to speculate some more, but honestly, I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of even scared of making this video in the first place because they've already thrown out strikes, copyright strikes to some people, obviously just for using the pictures and the assets and showing the leaks. This is going to be a thing. People don't get copyright striked if a game isn't gonna come out. And so it's very apparent Apex Mobile 2.0 will be a thing, but it's in China and we aren't gonna be able to play it. At least not for now. This still doesn't mean that an Apex Mobile 2.0 by EA or Respawn is off the table, because once again, Lightspeed Studios, they're just taking the idea of Apex Legends and just re-skinning it, redeveloping it for a different region. Apex Legends still owns the rights to their name, to everything else that makes Apex the game. The characters, the skins, the maps, the lore of the game, they still have that intact. And so Apex Mobile 2.0, who knows? Maybe one day we will be able to experience dropping into World's Edge, or an Imagine World's Edge again, but this time with PC players and this time with console players and with a whole new engine to support it. But once again, it's all speculation, and if I'm going to be honest, I don't think we would even see any rumors of this until late next year, because the shutdown of this game is still very fresh. And once again, EA and Respawn probably lost a hefty chunk of change on it, and so they'd want to make sure whatever they do coming back again would actually work this time. And so yeah, I think that's it. I think this is the last news video covering Apex Mobile, but every time I've said that, I have literally been proven wrong like 2 weeks later. So listen guys, it's been a phenomenal journey covering Apex Legends Mobile. Once again, I will have another gameplay video tomorrow, just hopping on the game for one last time, experiencing the glory that is Apex Mobile with you all for one last gameplay video. So make sure if you haven't already subbed, drop a sub. That's gonna be a fun one. But yeah, I just thought I would kind of wrap up everything that has happened with this crazy saga of the game launches, shuts down, but then it's just might be launched, and then it is, but then it isn't. And so finally, I think for the last time, I'm signing off. It's been your boy DuckyTheGamer covering Apex Legends Mobile. Been a fun one. It's been a fun year, and we'll see what the future holds for this game. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.